Hey guys, Ronnie here with Alien Investigations, the show that investigates UFOs and alien phenomenon. In today's show, we're going to talk about HARP and these light beams that are supposedly shown all over the world. First off though, let's talk a little bit about these light beams captured over Italy, Mexico, and the US. Now, you may have seen the most recent light beam moving over the Mount Etna Volcano as seen in the video by BP Earthwatch and others on YouTube as well. If you haven't seen this video yet, I'll leave a link in the description for you to go and check it out later. But let's go ahead and take a look at a few frames from the footage that I got. As you can see, there's definitely seems to be a beam of light moving over it in these frames. Now, I'm not sure what this was, although it does seem legit to me, and it's definitely strange nonetheless. One possibility, maybe a helicopter in the area with a big old spotlight shining down on the volcano. I don't know. I don't think they would take a risk of doing that, so I don't think that's what it is, but it could be a possibility because you really can't see above that area. I'm going to show you a few more types of beams of strange lights that I discovered while doing some research that could give some meaning as to what was seen over Mount Etna. Now, I'm not saying this is what it was, but this could be an explanation. So I found this site called Modification.org, which had an article on the same subject about strange beams of light around the world. And it seems that these beams are either caused by lightning or camera glitches. Now, if they are all caused by lightning strikes, I want you to remember this picture while we talk about this stuff. And yes, that is lightning inside of a volcano, so this phenomenon does take place. And scientists are baffled by this. They don't know how this occurs. So an administrator named Mick West on Metabook.org says that, quote, in the last week that seemed to be a flurry of these sightings of strange beams of light in the sky, the majority of them were quickly identified as camera glitches caused by the rolling shutter just catching a strip of a scene illuminated by a flash, leaving the rest with normal illumination, which gives a beam effect. Now here he also states that it turns out the reason we are suddenly seeing so many in largely is because one of the photos went viral. And the rapid spread of this photo across the internet led people posting photos of what they might other have discarded as a messed up photo. But it mostly led people to remember photos they had took quite some time ago, and so they posted or reposted those photos though they seem new. This really started about 6 years ago, he said, with this photo that you're seeing here. The photo was taken in 2009 by Hector Silazar. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. For some reason, it did not get much attention until 2012 when it went viral to a certain degree. First being published in the website Earth Files and then getting picked up by various other sites. Mick states that these rolling shutter lighting artifacts continue to crop up occasionally like this in 2013, although actually taken in 2012. So let's check out the site and then I'll read some of the stuff stated there. Now, further down the page, someone uploads their own picture and shows another beam, and Mick points out that that's a different type of beam caused by a CCD vertical smear, which is an effect when the pixels in a sensor are exposed to too bright of a light like the sun or a lightning flash, and the light overflows from one pixel to the next, often affecting, the whole column. It happens more on cheaper and older sensors, and here's some examples. Now, I don't know what these light beams are, if they're related to lightning strikes, camera glitches, or real UFOs causing this, who knows? Let me know what you think in the comments on what you think they are and what's causing this, guys. Now, since we're on the topic of lights, however, let me show you some other natural cool stuff that came up while researching these light beams. Now, this is a picture taken in Laramie, Wyoming on a winter night. There are different types of names for this phenomenon. Some call them light poles, some call them light pillars. So this picture here was actually taken by Timmy Joe Elzinga using a smartphone at 1:30 a.m. in northern Ontario, Canada on January 6, 2017. Elzinga said he wasn't aware of this light pillar phenomenon until he saw it firsthand. So I put a video link in the description so you can listen how he explains what happened and see the actual footage of this in his video. Ice from high altitude explains the pillars that Elzinga saw. The explanation for this phenomenon is during some cold, wintry nights, flat ice crystals that normally reside higher up in the atmosphere come fluttering closer to the ground. These whimsical, wobbling ice crystals are sometimes referred to as crystal fog. When the crystals reflect ground lights from nearby cars or other bits of civilization, the results can be glorious columns of light called light pillars. The pillars are not physically over the lights or anywhere else in space for that matter. Like all halos, they are purely the collected light beams from all the millions of crystals, which just happen to be reflecting light towards your eyes or a camera. The light pillars are so strange looking that people often mistake them for UFOs. There are said to be a lot of UFO reports caused by light pillars over Niagara Falls, where the mist from the rush of the descending water interacts with the city's main upward-facing spotlights. Now here's a really weird phenomenon caught back in June 12, 2015 in Greenwood, Indiana. I found this on Quaid M13's channel, and over the course of almost 2 years now, this video got 3,916,515 views, and for a good reason. I'll put the link in his video in the description so you can check out the full video for yourself. Could this have been HARP testing out one of its secret weapons? Let's have a look. This guy stated that he was riding his bicycle and a storm was approaching. The strange light caught his eye, so he pulled out his phone and started shooting the video. After getting so many replies and reading the comments, he found out that it wasn't HARP and that this phenomenon is called a crown flash. Now, a crown flash is when ice particles get aligned in the same direction from the electrostatic field created during a thunderstorm, which is usually invisible to the naked eye. But the way the sun was hitting it that day, it became visible to the naked eye. Kind of like the way you see a rainbow, he said. So it's pretty interesting stuff. Okay, so we mentioned HARP here, and for some of you out there that are not familiar with HARP, let me give you a little background info. So HARP stands for High Frequency Active Aurora Research Program. HARP was an ionosphere research program jointly funded by the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Navy, the University of Alaska, and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, known as DARPA, designed and built by BAE Advanced Technologies. Its purpose was to analyze the ionosphere and investigate the potential for developing ionospheric enhancement technology for radio communications and surveillance. The HARP program operated a major subarctic facility named the HARP Research Station on an Air Force-owned site near Gokona, Alaska. The most prominent instrument at the HARP station is the Ionospheric Research Instrument, a high-powered radio frequency transmitter facility operating in the high-frequency HF band. The IRI is used to temporarily excite a limited area of the ionosphere. Other instruments such as a VHF and UHF radar, a fluxgate magnometer, a digisome, which is an ionospheric sounding device, and an induction magnometer were used to study the physical process that occurred in the excited region. Now on the flip side, or dark side as they call it, here's what various individuals have speculated about the hidden motives and capabilities of the project. Nick Begich Jr., the son of late U.S. Representative Nick Begich and brother of former U.S. Senator Mark Begich, is the author of Angels Don't Play This HARP. He has claimed that HARP could trigger earthquakes and turn the upper atmosphere into a giant lens so that the sky would literally appear to burn. He maintains a website that claims HARP is a mind control device. A Russian military journal wrote that ionospheric testing would trigger a cascade of electrons that could flip the Earth's magnetic poles. The Alaska state legislation and European Parliament held hearings about HARP, citing environmental concerns. Former governor of Minnesota, ex-professional wrestler and conspiracy theorist Jesse Ventura questioned whether the government is using the site to manipulate the weather or to bombard people with mind-controlling radio waves. An Air Force spokeswoman said Ventura made an official request to visit the research station but was rejected. He and his crew showed up at HARP anyway and were denied access. Physicist Bernard Eastlund claimed that HARP includes technology based on his own patents that has the capability to modify weather and neutralize satellites. It has been proposed as a cause of low-frequency background hums said to be heard in various locales. Other theories state that the intense energy being beamed into the sky by HAARP is actually heating up the atmosphere, causing weather changes. And since there are 20 locations of HAARP around the world and they are heating up the atmosphere, don't you think this could be what they claim is global warming? This is not just happening by Earth's own means. This is happening because the governments of the world are causing it to happen for their New World Order purposes. Look, you and I both know that HAARP is being used for weather modification. The military record proves it, and they've even admitted it in their own documents. However, they still deny it to the public. Since HAARP went online, some experts have reported strange weather anomalies, including massive floods, hurricanes, and earthquakes. There are reportedly a total of 5 ionosphere heaters, including HAARP, in the world today. There are possibly 20 other ionosphere heaters in existence all over the world. There is no conclusive proof that any of them are being used as weather weapons, though they do have the ability to manipulate the ionosphere. Dr. Brooks states that HAARP may not be able to affect the jet stream directly, but indirectly it could by pushing the ionosphere into outer space. The stratosphere just under the ionosphere has to move to fill in that gap, and when it moves, it can pull the jet stream with it, thus rerouting it hundreds of miles, changing the way that water moves throughout our atmosphere. In the public eye, HAARP is a mere ionosphere research facility. However, in the military and government's eyes, it's several things. Let me give you some examples of what HAARP is really capable of. Using electromagnetic sweeps to invoke mind control over large populations. Block communications worldwide or destroy aircraft or missiles that try to fly through its plasma shield. Plasma shields are simply created by directing electrons along the natural occurring lines of Earth's magnetic field. HAARP can accelerate those electrons to near the speed of light, creating a type of plasma shield up to 30 kilometers. Since ELF signals generated by HAARP can be heard anywhere in the world, they can be used as Earth-penetrating tomography to find enemy submarines and underground bases. By manipulating the ionosphere to create an opening over an enemy country and allowing solar radiation to strike the surface of the Earth unhindered, this could kill easily. Using weather manipulations as warfare tactics, it could possibly control the jet stream for weather to strike where they wanted to at will. Now, what exactly does it sound like when HAARP does a test? But here is one clip that I found a long time ago. But this clip has been shared so many times by others I couldn't find the original source. But it happens in Florida, and these people heard this huge rumbling sound that lasted for like 20 minutes. They thought it was a tornado, it was so loud. They even called 911 to see if there were any reports of tornadoes in the area, and there were none. Then after a while you see a huge flash in the sky, and then the sound fades out. Could this have been a huge cloaked mothership passing overhead? And then the flash of light could have been the wormhole opening up, transporting the ship elsewhere? Let's take a look.
What is that sound?
Tornado.
Oh my god.
That's what I thought it was. That's why I was got.
Feels like it's getting close, Dylan.
Yeah.
There went something. What is that? That feels like it's getting very close. Where is it? Not back that way, it's up in this corner. Don't go out there. You see anything? I know it's coming from there somewhere. Oh man. Oh man.
Stay down somewhere.
Did you see the lightning?
Yeah.
Oh god, I don't feel good. Oh Lord, in the name of Jesus. Why is there nothing on TV? don't hear it anymore, Till.
Stop.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. Whew.
Was this HARP in action maybe? I don't know. Personally to me it sounds more like a huge mothership was passing by that we're supposed to have in this SSP, Secret Space Program, as talked about in my last episode that David Wilcock talks about. And you won't ever see them because they use cloaking devices that project beams downwards under the ship to make the underside of the ships look like clouds or blend with the clouds. And this was all explained by David Wilcock as well. He said there are huge carrier ships, just like the one you see in the movie The Avengers, the helicarrier-based helicopter shield ships. So if you want to know more about that stuff, go check out episode 6 where we talk all about that, and I link to David's full live presentation on that stuff. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed the show, and if you're not subscribed yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button because there's more great stuff to come. Also, you can find our contact info in the description below. If you'd like to send us some footage or pics that you want to see on the show, just go ahead and do that through the email address. So again, don't forget to like and share and subscribe on your way out. Okay, remember guys, keep looking to the skies and have your phones and cameras ready because you never know when you'll see something strange or unexplainable. I'll see you right back here every Wednesday with fresh new episodes of Alien Investigations.